Hi, I'm Rusty Wise.
I'm Jermaine Gash.
And I'm Mason Beam.
And this is Who Gives a Hoot number 3. Do you give a hoot? We give a hoot. So we're getting ready to discuss some things, and we got quite a few topics to discuss today.
Yes, we do.
Yep, topics range from UFOs, charitable updates, Piedmont Lithium, and so on.
The Gastonia honey hunters.
Honey hunters.
Yes.
Which that's an issue.
Mm-hmm.
And I guess we'll start off with the Gastonia honey hunters.
Yes.
Which is in Gastonia, North Carolina.
Mm-hmm.
And it's at the Fuse District, the new Fuse District that was built. And last week, there was more or less a protest by the baseball team. They didn't walk out on the field because they were not getting paid.
Yes.
Yep. It's delayed for 45 minutes.
Yeah. So there's been an issue of workers not getting paid, the players not getting paid, police and EMS not getting paid. So we don't really know the full extent of their financial troubles.
Right. Now, we did hear that Gastonia has stepped in, and they're the ones paying the players at the moment, correct?
No, I think the Atlantic League, which is the Atlantic League, is paying the players, we understand.
Okay.
Now, the owner is Brandon Bellamy, which is Momentus Group, is the group under his direction that actually owns the ball team and runs the ball team. Now, the city of Gastonia owns the ball field or the complex. And that complex was built on other news reports for $26 million.
Yes, and that did have mixed reviews as well from the residents of Gastonia.
So $26 million was spent. So the city of Gastonia has to make this work. It's my understanding that the city's still going to pay the police and the fire and the EMS to still be there. They've got $26 million invested. So, of course, they're going to help all they can.
Yes.
So, I don't know, is the Fuse District, they built it several years ago. I think it's 2021. Now, what's interesting is the COO is Veronica Gion. I may be mispronouncing that. I don't know. It's Jeon, but that's what I saw in other news reports.
That's what I believe I've heard as well.
Okay. Anyway, she apparently is the COO and the financial director, and she is also the girlfriend of Brandon Bellamy. So, you know, they were getting automatic payments or paychecks from ADP, and then they switched to paper checks and then writing them like a week later.
Yes.
And it's my understanding that since 2021, the ball team has been in the red for 2 years. And average attendance has been around, 1,800 a game, I think.
Yes.
And the facility holds right at 5,000, I think.
Wow.
So
it's definitely underselling the seats.
Yeah, not looking too good.
So that's a situation where, you know, government is sort of talked into doing stuff, and especially sports arenas, just like the Panther Stadium, you know, it's like build this or we're going to go elsewhere. And so what do y'all think about spending that kind of money on sports? Should government be doing that?
I understand where they're coming from with the thought that that would revitalize the area. But I'm also, with some of the reports I've heard from citizens of Gastonia while researching for this, I do agree that the money would have been better spent elsewhere than maybe a $26 million stadium. One of them had suggested trees, which they do not need to spend $26 million on trees, but it definitely could have went to, I know they wanted to revitalize that area specifically. It definitely could have went into housing, maybe helping with sidewalk construction, infrastructure. And if the stadium had worked, I understand it would have been a huge uptick in income for that area, but it's not working. And they spend a lot of money on something for it to fall through.
Right.
Well, it hasn't completely fallen through yet. Now, there could be new owners coming in, I understand. And it's a lovely park. I mean, it's well built. They have a lot of group areas. So it's a very nice park. I've been to a game there. But you can't force people just because you build it, they may or may not come.
Mm-hmm.
And I think it's like the Field of Dreams. You build it, they will come.
Exactly.
So this Brandon Bellamy, he supposedly is a half a billionaire, but I guess he's that on paper.
Yes.
And I know, me being in real estate, there's a lot of real estate moguls that look good on paper, but they have no liquid cash. They own a lot of stuff, but they can't buy anything with cash. Like, he couldn't come up with 10 or 20 grand to pay the team. It's supposedly worth, $500 million.
Yeah.
And there's a lot of real estate moguls like that. They own a lot of stuff, but they have no free liquid capital unless they just turn around and sell something quick.
Yep.
But most of the time, the real estate people, when they sell something of any substantial amount, they'll roll that into an exchange just to avoid taxes. So if you sell something, you normally don't throw the money in the bank. They'll buy something else. So you can grow your portfolio, but you still have no liquid cash. So that's kind of how that game's played.
Okay, I'm learning things here. So,
But I don't know Brandon. I don't know Mr. Bellamy. I don't know him. I don't even know that he comes around a lot. It's my understanding he lives in the D.C. area.
That was my question. Yeah.
And he's not been seen around the ballpark much. So the Gastonia Honey Hunters, it's a good idea. I don't, it's not a done deal yet. But if you get the right owner that is very active, involved in the stadium, in the team, and, things may work out. But it's my understanding Brandon Bellamy owns a lot of the properties around the stadium.
yes.
And so is that a good thing that he owns a lot of that property? It may or may not be. It's if other investors could buy the property, then maybe the properties will be renovated quicker, or things will be built quicker.
Yeah.
So who knows?
Who knows? That $26 million, that's a lot of money.
Yeah. And then other people have been reporting that he's been very hands off with the situation, kind of. Like you were just saying, he's not there much. It seems like his girlfriend's handling most of it.
Yeah, and some other news reports, they were saying that she was kind of scared to ask him for money.
Yeah,
and
they were
it's
saying that.
and anytime you got a girlfriend-boyfriend deal, that's not a good situation. Letting her handle the money may not been the best situation. And it's my understanding that some of the advertisers that paid for signs, Toyota being one of them, I understand, they paid for these signs to get in the outfield or wherever, and they were never produced.
Yes.
So they've been taking money, but they have not been spending money.
We should have to ask where the sponsor money's going, if they've been able to produce the things that they guaranteed with it.
Yeah. So hopefully they get it worked out. I don't know. They were trying to keep it under the rug, I guess, until the ball team kind of
refused to play.
Yeah. And there were some rumblings a couple months ago that some of the employees were not getting paid on time.
I saw that as well.
Yeah.
So if you guys know any more about that situation, certainly let us know in the comments below.
Yeah, if you
do.
Yeah.
Yeah, if you give a hoot about the Gastonia Honey Hunters, put it in the comments below and tell us what you think. Now, the next thing is the UAP hearings in Washington.
The UAP. And also for the viewers who may not know what that means, if you could, UAP is what they're referring them to.
Unidentified aerial phenomenon.
Yes.
Yeah. Is what they've labeled that. UFO kind of got a bad stigma to it, I guess.
Yeah.
But there's a UAP task force.
Yes.
And I didn't realize that. But the hearings were last week. They interviewed a lot of people. The Congress women and men did. And the three that stuck out were this David Grush, which he's a former UAP task force official. And, he just said some things that were just shocking. And then David Fravor, he was a retired Navy commander. He saw UAP in 2004. And then you got Ryan Graves, which is a former Navy pilot, and he saw UAPs from 2014 to 2015. And just these guys talking is, yes, they've recovered aircraft. And yes, they recovered biological, non-human biologicals.
Yes.
So a non-human
Yes.
biological is, I don't know what that is.
An alien.
I don't know if it's a dog or a cat, you know,
Right.
or, you know, but that
Super advanced time traveling cats are bringing
Yeah.
back unidentified aerial phenomenon.
but they had UAP recovery teams.
Yes.
And so the congressmen are kind of getting a little aggravated, or Congress itself is like, one thing that was brought up is every year they audit the Pentagon,
Mm-hmm.
and every year they fail and they lose $1 billion somewhere. Every year there's $1 billion that's
We don't know.
unaccounted for. And I like, one of the congressmen was saying, like, if you don't report over $600 on your taxes, the IRS is coming after you.
Right.
And the Pentagon, they misappropriate. It goes somewhere, $1
Mhm.
billion.
Mm-hmm.
So they really don't know if the UAPs are our technology now that they got from extraterrestrials,
Mhm.
or is it actually aliens?
Mhm.
See, we don't know, and there might be some private companies involved
Mhm.
that they reverse engineered this technology. So is it actually humans doing this, or is it actually other entities doing it?
How do you guys feel about that? Because the reactions that I've seen myself on social media, are we really surprised? No one was really that surprised.
Well, you go to Walmart and see some aliens. I
Very
mean,
true.
you go in Walmart, they might be in their pajamas, but
Yeah.
some people, I don't know if they're human or not. But,
That's how
Are
they
we
make the
really
most convincing
surprised?
costume.
Mhm.
but
So-
yeah, I don't know. Tell us in the comments below what you guys think. You
Mhm.
know, there's UFOs, UAPs, there's Bigfoot, there's all this strange phenomenon going on. There's something to it.
There's something to it. Has to be, right?
Definitely. And even if it's like foreign influence, because I know while I was reading on it, someone was, this may just be hearsay. You never can trust absolutely everything you read on the internet. They were talking about apparently China has developed a craft that can go from water to flying. And they were talking about that craft being gained from the UAP technology. And do they have it? Do they not? Who knows? But the thought of it's kind of insane.
Well, there's like a segment of the government that's a secret segment of the government that Congress or the senators or no one knows about. I mean, they denied them access to some information. And one of the congressmen says, you work for us. We don't work for you. And it's like, you know, the Pentagon will not let them look at things.
Mm-hmm.
And it's like, yeah, we have top secret clearance, but we still can't see it.
Right.
And so they're talking about cutting off the funding. You know, you just cut off the purse strings, and then that might wake some people up. So why would they not want us to have this information?
Mhm.
There's really only two reasons. One is financial, which means the technology will put the oil and gas industry out of business, the transportation businesses out of business. It would just shut down industry as we know it.
Mhm.
And the second is religious, so to speak, is the religious connotations on that, possibly, or can humans accept the fact that we're not alone?
Exactly. Exactly.
So it's one of the two.
Mhm.
I think if it's the military getting it, the first thing they want to do is figure it out to be able to use it.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Because whoever owns that technology will have supreme superiority over the earth.
Right. That's certainly a poll that we should actually do. You know, do most people believe or not?
Good idea.
I genuinely would like to know. So
Yeah. And over some of these nuclear missile silos, these UAPs have flown over UFOs and actually shut down the systems. And in Russia, they're saying that they actually started up a system, but then shut it right back down. So these UAPs have the technology to scramble radar, to start systems, stop systems, stall jets. So whatever it is probably, if it's not us, it's a national threat.
Yeah.
It's got to be.
Absolutely.
It's a global threat if it's not us.
Well, I know we're all in this together. So, we might all be in this together.
Yeah.
We don't really know.
That would be something for humanity to finally become united because the government finally let it slip the aliens exist.
Well,
But like you said earlier, it kind of boils down to those one or two reasons. Can the average person handle that kind of information?
And that's actually something that's been discussed in kind of the crazy side. The conspiracy theorists have been discussing for years is that the actual reason why we've introduced aliens and stuff into pop culture is actually so the government can slowly lower us into the idea of it existing, and then it's not a big jump and it won't cause a mass panic whenever they finally do say something like, hey, yes, aliens exist on the level of other intelligent life forms, not just like we found a bacteria somewhere. Is that we've been being conditioned for it since about the 40s.
but still, it's all, we've seen the videos, we've seen the radar, we've seen the videos and the photos, but until we actually march an alien down the street or the aircraft is, paraded down the street, people are still going to be skeptical.
Of course.
So even the hearings, people were kind of on the flip side saying, well, it's all their words. There's no physical evidence.
Right, which is true.
So it is true, but these are people that have been in the military and have stuck their neck out. And they say only 5% of all the UAP sightings by these airmen are even reported. So
that is another piece of conjecture that I have seen while I was reading on it. What do you guys think on the fact that some people are thinking that this entire thing about the UAPs is actually the government trying to put something out there that's fantastical to cover up for something else? That's
believable. It's been done many times before, but
that's one of the pet theories I've seen floating around. So
yeah, I don't know. In this day and age with technology and everyone has a cell phone and we learn so much. We couldn't even fly 150 years ago.
That is true.
And now we could do all what we're
only
doing.
150 years ago.
Yeah. So did we get smart all of a sudden, or where did this technology come from?
That's a good question. Yeah.
I just don't think we just got smart in 150 years when we've been on Earth for thousands of years. Logic doesn't add up.
Good question.
And a lot of this stuff, I didn't research it, but, the 3D print shop uptown, he was telling me that the military has had 3D technology for NASA for like 50 years or something. And he was saying, oh, yeah, the military, that's actually where it came from.
That's where most things come from.
So 3D printing's been around for 50-something years, but it was used by NASA, I think, in the military. And it's only just now really coming out for consumers.
Right.
Yeah.
And with military technology, the things that they declassify from like the 70s through the 90s are already better than our commercially available airliners. So you have to think like, well, what technology they have right now then, if the things that they're declassifying right now that were like planned back in the 50s, put out in the 70s through the 90s, if those things can fly at like Mach 12 over, because they sent one over Russia whenever there was a bomb threat, and it had it there within like 30 minutes.
Yeah.
But
I don't know. It may be us, but it's something that's not normal. And now these pilots say it defies physics, that, it stops in midair and just, shoots off in a second. And they know of no human technology that can do that.
As I was saying earlier to you while we were discussing it, It very much to me sounds like warp drive technology. And for those of you at home that don't know what a warp drive is, that is a theoretical technology that would bend space-time downward in front of you and up behind you, putting you on this little wave. Therefore, it doesn't break the laws of physics, but you can travel faster than light because you're bending space to make you fall faster than light can move.
Okay.
Go
warp speed. I mean, Star Trek had it going on.
Yeah.
This technology
Exactly.
they propose in Star Trek.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, let us know in the comments below. Are you guys believers? Is it like Rusty said, 150 years is not a long time, and so much technology has happened in that span of time. So many changes, so much advancement.
Yeah.
Did we get smarter, or is there influence from something else?
Well, the transistor and electronics and just quartz and silicone, that's where all this is derived from.
Mm-hmm.
Now, how did we learn that? Was it by mistake, or I don't know, or aliens among us?
Well,
Maybe.
we did say we saw them at Walmart. So.
I saw some at that UFO festival. I swear some people looked like they were aliens.
Yeah, perfect
Anyway.
time to present
None of the ones trying to be either.
Let us know what you think in the comments below. Do you give a hoot about UFOs and aliens?
Let us know.
Yeah. Next, Piedmont Lithium.
Yes.
Piedmont Lithium's been around, 5 or 6 years now in the Cherville area?
In the Cherville area.
Yeah. They're going to give an update on Tuesday, July 8th. No, August 8th. Yeah, it'd be August 8th at 8 p.m. at the Gaston County Courthouse.
Mm-hmm.
And it's at 325 Martin Luther King Drive Way in Gastonia. And this is the first time that Piedmont Lithium has given an update to the county in 2 years.
Okay.
It was like June or July of 2021. So I think the county has requested them to come and give an update. So next Tuesday, August the 8th, will be an update. And we plan on being there.
We'll be there.
And we'll see kind of what that is all about. And on July 27th, they actually voted to accept the ETJ relinquishment from Cherville. And it's my understanding they basically had to.
Yes.
So they voted, there was 5 parcels across from Anthony Grove Church that were relinquished. And what struck me about that is one of the parcels was commercial industrial.
Do we know which specific one it was, or?
I think it was probably the one there behind the.
Not which parcel it was, but which designation it was, like I or C or.
I don't remember what the designation was, but they were all voted to R1.
Yes.
Which is general residential. So they were all rezoned for R1, which I thought was a little strange that it was commercial industrial. I don't know if it was C1 or 3. I can't remember. But anyway, to make them all R1s was a little strange to me.
Coming from a real estate background, are there any reasons you could think of why that would be? Why they went that route?
I don't really know. Changing zoning
from commercial to residential.
Yeah, my understanding, you would do it just to go along with the rest of the landscape. That way you'd make that whole area residential. So anytime you've got residential up against commercial, you have to have buffers and everything else. So maybe changing all R1 was just the simplest thing to do. Now, what Piedmont Lithium will have to do is get all that changed back.
Exactly.
Yes, they'll have to have I-3 zoning for mining in North Carolina.
Yeah, so all that will have to be changed back. And, zoning changing has to go through several boards generally, but it's not that difficult to get zoning changes. But each zoning has to have different parameters, different buffers, setbacks, and that sort of thing.
Yeah.
This is just me asking from not having a real estate background at all, but is it potentially easier for them to break apart the R1 parcels to create a buffer and then turn the actual grounds at Piedmont Lithium beyond back to I-3?
No, it ought to have to be. I mean, you can't split the designation. I mean, each parcel. I mean, I don't know how they would do it. I mean, they may eventually, if the whole deal goes through, it may just be one big parcel. You know, it's how it's purchased and how it's designated.
Okay.
Mm-hmm. So really, their only option is, or let's say they put everything back to residential, they have to just change all at once to commercial, essentially, right?
Yeah, they would have to designate it for that use. Like the mining area will have to be a certain zoning, and the manufacturing will have to be you know, it just depends on what processes they are doing in that area and what the zoning will allow that. Yeah. But that's all in front of Anthony Grove Church. And I know Anthony Grove Church has been very vocal against it. But turning that all to R1 might be a little bit of sign that you know, maybe Gaston County's not all on board yet.
Yeah.
So the county commissioners, I don't know how they feel. I guess you know, they've yet to take a vote on it, and they'll have to approve a lot of things. And I guess that's why they want to update.
Definitely would love to speak to the Cherville commissioner on that.
Yes. Yes, Alan Fraley. He represents the Cherville on the commission. So we'll see. So Piedmont's giving out a lot of money. I mean, the Cherville area is benefiting from a lot of investor money.
Yes.
So I guess take it while you can, because you know, this may not be a done deal. I mean,
we thought it was, but
yeah, I guess one thing that kind of strikes me a little bit is they've bought all this property, about 3/4 of the Bible property, I guess, and they've tore down practically brand new houses. And it's just weird that they don't even have a permit yet. So you go in and tear down houses and burn them down to the ground, and you haven't even got a permit yet. And you're spending all this money. They give out money like candy, and it's just, I guess that's the way the game's played. I don't know. But I'm curious to see the update. I think everybody else is. You know, what's going on with the mining permit?
Exactly.
You know? I mean, at the rate they're going, it's going to be 2030 before they do anything. And by the time you keep putting this technology off, they'll come out with a better battery. I mean, lithium, there'll be something better than lithium before it's over with. You know, so if this keeps dragging out, then the price of lithium might keep falling to where it's not even price. It might be price prohibitive to even do it.
It's actually the same scientist that created the lithium ion battery has already created the next step in battery technology. It's just not commercially available yet. Which I have my own personal theory on that, which is that they are basically trying to use as much of lithium as possible before they put forth that technology to the general public. Because if we get to better batteries, then they would just skip over lithium entirely. It would shut down a lot of industry.
Yeah, it seems like everything revolves around money.
Well, it certainly does.
But one thing, you know, the Manhattan Project, you know, the lithium came from Bessemer City.
Yes, it came from the Beam Hallman mine.
Yeah, and North Carolina, this vein that's where all the lithium came from, for military and everything else for years. And now most of it's coming from overseas. So it's interesting, you know. We'll see how it all shakes out.
Yeah, so next Tuesday, we should be hearing some sort of an update.
Yeah.
Yep.
And next, the Carowinds, Fury 325.
There's been a second crack.
It's still broken. They're running it, but they think there's a second stress fracture. So for you Fury fans out there, it may be a little bit longer.
Yes.
Would y'all jump on it right now?
Absolutely not. I just saw over the weekend.
I know Mason would.
Would you, Mason?
Yeah, probably.
Willing to take that risk. Oh, there's always something breaking down at one of these fairs. I just saw something over the weekend where the one that goes around and around, it's stuck in reverse. And that the riders were stuck going backwards for about 20 minutes. Yeah.
Well, it's machinery.
Mm-hmm.
It has nuts and bolts and welds and wiring, and anything could go wrong.
Anything could happen.
Yeah. But I think probably right now the Carowinds rides are the safest that they've been in years because they've inspected them. They're starting to inspect them with drones. And, they were not doing that before.
Yikes.
So, that's a lot of G-force. When it's going down, 325 feet, it's going down and it's banking. That's a lot of force on that metal.
Didn't that one have the most? Wasn't that what that one's Fury 325, right?
Yeah.
That's what the call for that one was, with it experienced the most cheese, right?
I don't know. It was the largest Giga coaster.
Okay.
At one time. I don't know if it's still the largest. At one time, it was the fastest, the tallest. In today's world, you got to be the best.
Got to be the best. The fastest, the biggest.
Yeah. So we'll see. We'll see what happens with that.
Yeah. Are you guys spending time at Carowinds this summer?
Yeah. Put in the comments below. Would you ride Fury 325 right now?
Got to use that summer pass.
All right.
Yeah. And I saw they were cleaning out the big swimming pool there this week.
The tidal pool?
I guess they were draining it, cleaning it out for something. They had it drained. So
good times.
Yeah. And let's see what's next. New things and happenings in Cherryville.
Yeah, quite a bit going on in Cherryville.
Been busy. We've been busy all week. The Fuzzy Cow Yogurt.
Yes, it's open and thriving.
You guys did that. I was on vacation last week. You guys did that. Yep. Did y'all eat any?
We've yet to try it.
Yeah,
so maybe
to, but people want to talk to us. So.
Okay.
We got there and got pretty busy, but oh my goodness, such an amazing experience, such a wonderful story, the backstory. So,
and if anyone at home has dietary preferences that can't be met by dairy, they have sugar-free and dairy-free options. So
there's something for everyone.
Yes, there is.
Yeah.
Mine cost $20 when I got out of there.
Did it?
No, I said it would
okay.
after they weighed mine because I love chocolate and vanilla.
Oh man.
Yeah.
They got so many toppings up there.
Yeah, it looks good. And also the craft box.
Yes.
Which we've shot a segment on that will be coming out. And a very neat idea.
Yeah, it's the founder is Jazz Taylor. And he's actually welcomed in maybe 12 or 13 merchants to showcase their work and their crafts. It's a wonderful idea.
And up towards the front of the shop, you got some of the spooky stuff.
Yeah, there's something for everyone. Flower arrangements, 3D prints, candles, soaps, clothing.
Freeze-dried candy.
Freeze-dried candy, and they look amazing. I'm definitely getting some of that. So.
And some axes.
Yes.
Did you see the axe? Is that for axe throwing? Or is that just a collectible?
I thought they were just decorational, but maybe they are throwing axes.
That may be what they are, because, throwing, axe throwing's a sport.
Absolutely.
I mean, we'll make a sport out of anything. Yeah, it is.
Can we get some axe throwing rings behind the pickleball court?
Yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah. I don't know. We make a sport out of anything.
Yeah. Competition out of anything.
Yeah.
Like cornhole or axe throwing or all that sort of stuff. And the wild Chola.
Yes.
Which I had to look up what Chola meant. Chola means cactus. It's a wild cactus. And I think that's in their logo. I think, don't they have a cactus in their logo? But that is across from the Cherryville Area Ministries there on North Mountain Street. And right beside the new YMCA.
Yes. And they are open. They've had a soft opening.
I think they had a soft opening a couple weeks ago. I don't know if they're fully stocked yet. I'm sure they'll have a ribbon cutting. And then there's, I think, an antique store. They have a store in behind there, too.
Yes.
For antiques.
And for the viewers who may not know, the Wild Chola carries different types of clothing, correct?
Mm-hmm.
It's a boutique.
Yeah, I'm sure they have. I think they have a Facebook page. But they've had soft openings, and the last I saw, they were waiting on merchandise to come in.
Very nice.
So that's right across from the ministries on North Mountain Street there.
Yes.
And the fish box. What's the latest on the fish box? Have y'all heard?
Well, it looks good. I like the color.
There's someone in there doing stuff every day, but no word on opening.
Okay, I haven't heard. I didn't know. It said the end of July. Here we are in August, so I didn't know. I did not know what was going on.
Well, I'm certainly ready.
Every time I hear from someone in public, they tell me they've heard it's opening soon.
Okay. All righty.
Well, we'll wait. I'm ready for it.
I am ready for it.
I want some good fish.
I want it open. It's just when.
I don't understand the gravel drive. I'm sorry, but I don't understand the gravel drive-through. I don't
Oh,
know.
yeah, around there.
Somebody said they were going for the rustic look. But
Okay.
I don't understand a gravel drive-through.
Is that the one at the fish box or the one across from the
one
or
at
beside the
Fish
area
Box.
ministries? Because there's 2 gravel
Yes.
lots.
Yeah, that's a parking lot now that they graveled, and they may pave it later. I don't know, but beside the ministries there, that parking lot had really grown up, had a fence around it.
Mm-hmm.
And I guess they did that for the businesses across the street.
Yes.
Mhm.
But I don't quite understand the gravel parking deal or the gravel drive-through.
Mhm.
But maybe it's the rustic look. I don't know. But I kind of question the gravel.
If they built the curb up some in front of it, because I've been cleaning parking lots since I was 4. I've had to deal with this plenty. If they would build the curb up just a little bit, maybe 2 inches above the gravel, it wouldn't wash out. But from what I can tell, it's definitely in danger of washing out at the fish box. So
Yeah, I don't know.
But hopefully they'll be open soon. Because we're ready for some fish.
Yeah.
yes.
They need to use some gravel and some potholes in Cherokee.
yeah.
I'm telling you what, I know they haven't fixed them all. Poor old Star Street. I don't know how many ball joints I'm going to have to wear out on Star Street.
Yeah, we saw some updates for a while.
Mm-hmm.
Yep, throughout the city.
They have patched some places.
Yes,
it's
they did.
getting better.
Mm-hmm.
It's getting better. But I don't know how many fillings I've lost in my teeth for going down Star Street. And I look like a drunk man dodging all the potholes.
Just telling the truth, I was behind him yesterday.
So if I'm weaving around, I mean, I'm not crazy. I'm just dodging the potholes. I'm going down Academy, and if you lived here long enough, you know which ones to dodge.
Mm-hmm.
You know, there's some that just knock your teeth out.
Yeah.
Oh, gosh.
What do you think about the pothole situation? Main Street's good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's right. I love riding down Main Street. It's good to see people out. It looks good. Yeah, lots of activity happening here.
Do you live down? Okay, so if you continue going further down from where you live, down Academy Street, they fix all of those. I've not been down that direction. Because I know out in front of the industrial area, it used to be really bad.
I hadn't been down. They fixed some of those.
Okay.
I don't know, at the end of Academy when it gets to Paul Beam Road. I think some of those are still there.
Okay.
I don't
I know exactly what you're talking about.
see. There's dips and there's potholes. I mean, there's a classifications, I guess, of potholes. I mean, if it's still paved and it drops that much, is it actually a hole? It's not a hole.
It's not a dip, it's a hole.
So is it actually a hole? Or what classifies a pothole? Does mud have to be coming out of it? Does gravel have to be coming out of it?
I don't know, actually.
Because levelness
Mm-hmm.
is,
Yeah.
what I look for, which they did fix a section on my street where I live. And 1/1000th of my drive to work, it's about a 20-foot section that is paved. It's so smooth. I just want to just creep over that section of new pavement before I get my teeth rattled out.
Oh, gosh.
So,
The calm before the storm.
yeah. But anyway, that's that's something that Cheryl's got to work on are the roads, because they're awful.
Mhm.
You get away from Main Street and they're horrendous.
Mm.
They are horrendous. And hopefully they'll repave the one going down to Westgate Park. And they are working on Westgate Park.
Yes.
Yes.
They did paving with the basketball, put up new basketball goals.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
They're going to put some pickleball courts. Are the pickleball courts going there, or are they going behind BBT?
Behind Parkway House.
Yeah.
I do that every time. I'm sorry.
Oh,
I'm sorry, Small Town Kitchen. Your food is delicious. It's just in my head. It's still
the
what it used
Parkway
to be.
House.
Yeah.
Well, it takes a while,
I mean, it's been like 3 years.
Yeah. But it takes a while for things to kick in. It really does.
Yeah.
For advertising or anything.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's what, Black Park?
Yes, Black
Yeah,
Park.
yeah. That's where the pickleball.
Mm-hmm.
Oh,
Yeah.
nice.
The last
Okay.
segment. Have y'all tried pickleball since our last segment?
I still haven't.
yet to
I'm
try
waiting
it.
on the court to open.
Stay off of it. Both of y'all will be hurt. You'll be laying out hurt with
Rusty will be here by
Didn't they
himself.
make it for old people?
broken ankles and everything else. No, y'all stay off those.
We'll have to do a
pickleball.
segment. I'll try and pickleball for the first time.
But once the Westgate Park is open, we'll get some footage down there.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
That park used to have a big koi pond with
Oh,
big old
nice.
koi fish in it, goldfish.
Yeah.
Nice.
It was a really nice park.
That sounds beautiful. What happened to that?
I think a lot of the parts went downhill. When Carolina Freight was here, there was a lot of money, a lot of influx, and when Carolina Freight had 2,500 employees, that was a lot of influx to Cherryville, and a lot of these neighborhoods were built off of Carolina Freight money.
Sure.
And when that kind of went away, the money went away for the parks, and that's one thing I hope the city and all government understands. When you build stuff, you have to maintain it. You have to maintain what you build. I don't care if you get a $10 million grant to build a building, you got to put money in the budget to maintain that building. Mm-hmm. And I know some of them had on Facebook, they were pulling weeds out of Main Street beds. Mm-hmm. I know in the budget, they had a full-time position to pull weeds out on Main Street. It's a full-time position. So I hope we maintain what we build, and they need to put in the budget maintenance cost on all this stuff. Because I don't care how well you fix up Westgate Park, what you do, if you don't put enough money in it to maintain it, 5-10 years, it'll look the same way.
Yep.
It's very true.
It's also part of the Piedmont contract is that our Parks and Rec department has to be up and running for Cherryville to get the money from the contract.
Yeah, and Piedmont gave them another, $500,000 a couple weeks ago?
And that wasn't even part of the contract.
That just came out of nowhere. Yep. And then I understand they're getting another $500,000 by the end of the year. Mm-hmm. And it's like, let me have some of that candy. Piedmont's, investor money. It's, if you own Piedmont stock, thank you.
Yeah.
A lot of people in Australia, I'm not going to call out usernames that I've been reading.
Well, we're investigating the Piedmont story, and we're going to be on that pretty heavy, in the next few months. And people are asking us what's going on with Piedmont Lithium, what's going on that, what's this, what's that, and we're going to try to do some investigating and get to the bottom of some things and see kind of what's going on, because it's dragging out a long time.
It has.
And maybe it normally does, but it's dragging out a long time.
Mm-hmm. So certainly stay tuned for that.
What else do we have? The mural of Brooke and Darren Aldridge, which is beautiful.
Beautiful.
And this Scott Nurkin did it in 2 days.
2 days. Mm-hmm. And from my understanding, he also did some of the murals in Uptown Shelby, correct? The historic district.
Yeah, they're calling it the North Carolina Musicians Mural Trail.
Very nice.
And I think he's been commissioned to do 10 of them.
Okay.
So I guess there's like 10 or 12 of these in North Carolina. And I heard a few months ago that it was going to be done, but I didn't know it was going to be quick, because the other murals took some time.
Yes, they did.
But this one was up 2 days. He's in and out and gone.
And if you haven't seen it, it's right there where the farmers market takes place.
Yes, near the gazebo.
At the mini park. Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. It's very, very good.
Very beautiful.
And like I say, Brooke and Darren. Darren grew up here in Cherryville. Very talented. They both very talented, and they've been out on the Grand Ole Opry. We wanted to get them in here in the studio, do a segment with them. We're proud of them. Very talented bluegrass musicians. They really are.
Yeah, so definitely check that out, guys. It's beautiful.
What else we got going on? The museum fiasco. Yes, I'll call it a fiasco, because it still is a fiasco. It's like one of these things that won't go away.
Yeah, it keeps coming back.
The lawsuit, and I don't know how valid it is. We've reached out to some people about it, and we're going to continue on that story too. The last word I heard, it was in the lawyer's hands.
Mm-hmm.
So now you've got lawyers involved. So it's between the Museum Association and the city of Cherryville. I think the Rotary Club was mentioned. All the city council was mentioned. About everyone was mentioned.
There's quite a bit
in the lawsuit. So I don't know how valid it is. I don't know how far it will go. I don't know if it has legs or not. I don't know. Lawyers could drag something out for a year if they wanted to, or 6 months. So I do not know.
Depends on how busy the court docket is.
Yeah. So the validity of it, I do not know. I'm not a lawyer. We're not lawyers. I'm out of the situation. Our companies are out of the situation. So we're going to try to report on it the best we can. Me personally, I'll say it again, I think the best thing for the museum building is to stay the museum, make it ADA compliant, have an elevator in it, and it be open more. And I think everybody will be happy with that. I think they will. I think the biggest thing is it was not open enough.
Mhm.
But if you have volunteers, and maybe hire a full-time person for it.
There needs to be a staff person there.
Because the restaurant, which we understand, a restaurant's coming beside of it,
Yes.
which is Johnny Ray's. He's from Falston, or has a restaurant in Falston.
Yes. And in Forest City.
And I understand, what's the one, the Hootenanny?
Hootenanny in Forest City.
Okay, yeah. So I understand that he's going to be putting a restaurant in the old Y building, which would be a good building for that.
Yeah.
Much better than the museum.
Supposedly a steakhouse.
A steakhouse.
Yes.
Okay, well.
Is it steak or barbecue?
Steak.
It's steak? Okay.
Yeah.
Very
Hootenanny
nice.
is also a steakhouse.
Okay, nice.
So.
Very
Okay.
nice.
Well, we'll see what that's all about. I hope it goes quicker than the fish box. I mean, the fish box is about the size of our studio here. And that's going to be a large restaurant. And
Quite a big restaurant.
I'd like to live to see it. So,
Now, we love steak now.
oh, yeah. Yeah. So I don't know. It's good things happening coming to Cherryville.
Oh,
You
yeah.
know? Yeah. Restaurants are a tough business. 8-year chef life is what restaurants have. So I'm glad they've got one coming, and I just hope they keep the museum. I hope they get all that worked out.
Mm-hmm.
And also the city planning and zoning director has stepped down and will be leaving, Mr. Blackburn. So they've advertised that position. And also Mr. Hustetler, the Palmer, has given notice that he will be leaving by the end of the year. So that's 2 key positions in Cherryville. The lawyer is leaving and the planning director is leaving. So those are 2 positions that will be coming up. And it's my understanding that they have to advertise the planning, but the city attorney position can be negotiated. So they may pick somebody, and we may not know who that is till, the last minute.
Yeah.
So
Till they're in the seat.
Yep. So it's my understanding that Mr. Huffstatler Palmer, he's moving on. So we'll see what happens after that. Let's see what else we got. We've discussed about everything. Had a lot today.
Yeah.
Y'all have anything else?
Ton of exciting updates. Certainly let us know what you guys think about these topics in the comments below. We've covered a lot. As we stated earlier, from UFOs to city updates, art in the community. Let us know your thoughts about these topics today.
Do we want to say something about what's happening for us on the 15th, or we're going to let the people be surprised?
We'll keep it a surprise.
Okay.
Yeah.
Keep an eye out for it, though. 15th.
Yep. Got a surprise coming on the 15th.
Yes, we do.
All righty. Well, that's Who Gives a Hoot number 3. And if you give a hoot, please comment below what you like, what you dislike, what kind of segments you like to see. Do you want more newsy segments? Do you want more event segments? What do you like? We're going to start digging deep in a lot of new stuff, and whether it's national, local, we may be all across the board.
And we definitely appreciate those who have sent topics in or segment ideas. Please don't stop. You can direct message us on any of our social media platforms, Facebook, Instagram. Just send us a message or email us.
Thanks for tuning in, guys. I'm Rusty Wise.
I'm Jermaine Gash.
And I'm Mason Beam.
And this is Who Gives a Hoot number 3. Until you see us again.
See you guys.